What if I told you the easiest garden you will ever grow does not need soil, does not need bending, and might already be sitting in your kitchen right now? No digging, no heavy pots, no back pain, just water and patience. And here's the surprising part. These are not decorative plants. These are useful, edible, money-saving plants that most people walk past every day without realizing they can grow them in plain water. Some of them regrow forever. Some of them multiply quietly, and one of them can fill an entire jar in just a few days. So if you have ever said, I want to garden, but I don't have space, I don't have soil, or I just don't want the stress, this video might completely change how you grow plants at home. Welcome to Serene Bloom. If you are new here, this channel is all about simple garden ideas that save money, reduce stress, and make growing plants feel calm and possible for anyone. And if you are returning, you already know we keep things practical, peaceful, and surprisingly effective. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, have you ever grown anything in water before? Even if it was by accident, I would really love to know. And if you enjoy calm, budget-friendly gardening like this, consider subscribing and tapping like. It helps this channel reach more people who want to grow without breaking the bank. Now, let us start with the first plant. And this one, most people throw away without thinking twice. Plant 1, celery heart. The first plant on this list does something that almost feels unreal. You cut it, you use it, you throw the base away, and then it quietly starts growing again in water. Celery heart. Not the stalks, not the leaves, the bottom base that holds everything together. The part most people toss into the bin without thinking. That is actually the growing center of the plant. Instead of throwing it away, place that base in a shallow bowl of clean water. Do not drown it, just let the bottom sit in the water while the top stays dry. Then place it somewhere bright but not under harsh sun. Now watch closely over the next few days. At first, the center looks slightly darker. Then tiny pale green leaves begin to appear from the middle. It almost looks like the plant is waking up. Day by day, the leaves open wider, the color becomes brighter, and small roots begin forming underneath. This is one of the most satisfying plants to grow in water because you can actually see the change happening quickly. It rewards patience almost immediately. And here is what makes it special. You did not plant anything. You simply saved what you already had. Change the water every 2 to 3 days so it stays clean. That is the only care it needs. No soil, no fertilizer, no bending, no stress. After about a week, the center becomes thick and leafy again. At this stage, you can start snipping small leaves for cooking. The plant continues to grow from the middle, so it keeps replacing what you take. It becomes a quiet, repeating harvest sitting on your counter. Another thing people love about celery in water, it looks decorative without trying. The layered leaves slowly open like a small green flower. It turns kitchen scraps into something alive and calming. And if you ever want it to grow bigger, you can transfer it into soil later. But even in water, it will continue growing in water for quite a long time. This is the kind of plant that changes how you see leftovers. Suddenly, throwing away the base feels like throwing away a free plant. But the next one on this list might surprise you even more, because this one grows in water and spreads faster than people expect. Plant 2, sweet potato vine. The second plant is quiet at first, then suddenly it takes over the entire jar. Sweet potato. Not planted in soil, not buried, just suspended in water, and it begins to grow long, flowing vines that look beautiful and useful at the same time. Choose a healthy sweet potato. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even one sitting in your kitchen can work. Insert 3 or 4 toothpicks around the middle so it can rest halfway inside a jar of water. The bottom half touches the water, the top half stays dry. Then place it near a bright window. For the first few days, nothing dramatic happens, but underneath the water, thin roots begin to form. They spread gently like threads. After that, small buds appear at the top, and this is where things become exciting. Those buds stretch into vines, long, soft green vines that continue growing day after day. Leaves begin to open along the stems, the jar slowly fills with roots while the top spills over with greenery. It becomes both a growing plant and a natural decoration at the same time. This plant is especially satisfying because it grows vertically without needing space. Perfect for small rooms, shelves, or even a bedside table. And it asks for almost nothing in return. Just change the water every few days. That's all. Another reason this one is worth growing, the leaves are edible in many places. They can be cooked like spinach, soft, mild, and nutritious. So you are not just growing something pretty, you are growing something useful. And the growth does not stop quickly. Sweet potato vines keep stretching. You can trim them when they get long, and they grow again. Some people even place the cut vines in another jar of water and they start rooting too. One sweet potato can quietly become multiple plants. This is the kind of growth that makes you check your plant every morning just to see how much it changed overnight. But the next plant is even simpler. No toothpicks, no balancing, just drop it in water and it begins growing almost immediately. Plant 3, garlic sprouts. This next plant is for people who want quick results, something you can see changing almost overnight. Garlic. Not the whole bulb, just one clove. The same clove you would normally crush and cook. Instead of using it, place it in a small container with a little water at the bottom. The root side sits in the water, the top stays dry. That's all. Within a short time, a bright green shoot pushes out from the top. It grows straight and slender, almost like a mini onion leaf, and it keeps growing taller every day. This is one of the fastest plants you can grow in water. It does not hesitate, it does not struggle, it simply starts growing. The roots form underneath while the green shoots stretch upward. You don't need to measure anything. Just make sure the water touches the bottom lightly and change it every few days. What makes garlic sprouts special is how useful they are. The green tops can be snipped and used just like spring onions, mild, fresh, and slightly garlicky, perfect for soups, rice, eggs, or noodles. And here's the surprising part. The clove keeps producing new growth from the center even after you cut the top, so one clove gives you multiple harvests. It's small, it's simple, but it feels rewarding. Another reason people love this one, it takes almost no space. You can grow several cloves in one shallow dish. Suddenly you have a small cluster of green shoots growing quietly on your counter. It's perfect for beginners. No guessing, no complicated setup, just water and light. This is also the plant that makes people realize how many things they can regrow instead of throwing away. Once you see garlic grow like this, you start looking at your kitchen differently. But the next plant, this one spreads wider instead of taller, and it grows so neatly in water it almost looks designed for glass jars. Plant 4, bok choy heart. This next plant grows in a way that feels calm to watch. It doesn't rush upward. Instead, it slowly opens, layer by layer. Bok choy. Just like celery, the magic is in the base. After using the leaves, most people throw away the bottom without realizing that the center is still alive. That small core holds the entire future plant. Place the base in a shallow bowl with a little water. Only the bottom should touch the water. Then place it somewhere bright where it can receive gentle light. At first, it looks like nothing is happening. Then the center begins to change color. A soft green appears. The inner leaves start pushing upward, slowly opening like a small flower opening. Every day, the middle becomes fuller. The leaves widen, the shape becomes more defined, and underneath, tiny roots begin forming around the base. It's one of the most visually satisfying plants to grow in water because the transformation is easy to notice. It goes from kitchen scrap to living plant in just a few days. And it stays compact. It doesn't take over your space. It simply grows neatly in place. Change the water every 2 to 3 days to keep it fresh. That's all the care it needs. No soil, no fertilizer, no heavy lifting, no stress. Once the leaves grow bigger, you can harvest gently from the outer layer. The center continues producing new leaves. It becomes a slow but steady supply. Another reason this plant is worth growing, it looks beautiful in a clear container. The layered leaves give it a soft, organized shape. It turns something ordinary into something peaceful to look at. And just like the others, you can transfer it into soil later if you want it longer. But even in water, it continues growing long enough to enjoy multiple harvests. This is the kind of plant that makes you realize gardening does not always have to be messy or demanding. Sometimes it's just water, light, and time. But the next plant on this list might surprise you even more, because this one grows in water and keeps multiplying quietly without you doing anything extra. Before we move to the next plant, I'm curious, which one surprised you the most so far? Was it the sweet potato vines, the garlic shoots, or the bok choy that opened to flower? Tell me in the comments. I read them, and it also helps me know what kind of low-effort plants you enjoy seeing. And if you are finding this helpful so far, take a second to tap the like button. It tells YouTube this is the kind of calm, budget-friendly gardening more people should see. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is a good time to do that. Serene Bloom is all about simple plants like these. No complicated setups, no expensive tools, just practical ideas that actually work in real homes. All right, the next plant is interesting because you don't regrow it once. It keeps multiplying. One small piece can quietly turn into several growing in water at the same time.